Science. So, the early science fiction movies about going to space didn't use rockets. They used a cannon to fire a big capsule towards the moon. There was actually one of the earliest movies from the Earth to the moon. And so this is just a little model of a cannon. We call it a potato gun. And we put our potato in here and we fill this up with something that'll catch fire. And we have a sparker here. We hit the sparker and it will fire our potato off in the safe direction that we point our cannon. So you can go back and you can actually see some of these old videos, some of the old movies where they use this. Of course, now we know that using rockets would be a lot easier and a lot more efficient, but this was one of the first ideas that people have, and it can be a lot of fun if you're safe and have your parents' participation when you do that. Have a great day. All right, so I have everything taken apart here so we can just look for a second at how this works. So this is my barrel. It's got my potato already loaded in there, moved down to the bottom, and I'm going to put that right there. And so we have a chamber here, and we can just put something in there that is going to be able to catch fire, something that's flammable. And on our end cap here, we have a little bit of a sparker just to start us off. So we can spray in our fuel, give it a good burst of fuel, close our end cap, and make sure there's nothing in that direction we don't want to hit, and then science is pretty fun. Have a great day. Hello, and welcome back to Science and Imagination, part of your library summer reading program. And talk to you a little bit about rockets. Of course, space exploration has been something that has engaged people's imaginations for a long, long time. I talked earlier just a little bit about all of the really early science fiction about going to the moon, and talked about how they would use how they thought maybe we would use a cannon to shoot a huge capsule at the moon. And of course, that is not the way that we have sent people to the moon. What we did is to use rockets. And a rocket is going to have a fuel source, and that fuel source, which is something that can burn, is going to accelerate our rocket all the way up into space. And we can make a little model of a rocket right at home with some really simple things. So the first thing we're going to need is parental supervision, because we are going to be using fire. We want to make sure that we do this in a really safe place and in a really safe way so that nobody gets hurt. But we are going to have some matches, and I do have a lit candle here. We can see. We're also going to need a good wooden stick. This is a little barbecue skewer that I got at the grocery store. And what I've done is I've taken a pair of scissors and I have clipped the end off of my match. So I just have the little match head right there, and we need some aluminum foil. I have some aluminum foil that I have torn out a little square of. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our match head and our skewer and put those right there in the aluminum foil, and we're going to wrap this aluminum foil right around that match and right around that skewer at the same time. We want to make sure we leave a good section of that foil out past the end of that match head. We're going to wrap that pretty tightly around that skewer so that we get a good seal, just like that. And then we're going to want to crimp up the end there, because what's going to happen is as that match head starts to burn, it's going to release a lot of gas, and we want to make sure that gas really only has one way to go, and that's going to be that way. That's going to be what's going to accelerate our match. Our little rocket here. Now you can do these a lot fancier, but you want to make sure that it's not too loose. You don't want it to be too tight. You don't want it to have to fight to get loose from that little skewer. So moving it up and down a little bit, and you can make a whole bunch of these and see how far you can get your rocket to go. Again, just make sure that you're going to be really safe when you do that. So once you have your little rocket made, you can put it right, where again you're going to make sure that it's going to go in a safe direction, make sure there's no risk of starting any fires, and we are going to hold it right over our candle, just like this, and in a few seconds, it's going to take a little bit. Let's see what happens. And it's going to shoot off just like that. Now, I've tried this a few different times. I have gotten my little match rockets to go a pretty good distance. So it's something you can try at home, you can really experiment with and have a lot of fun with. Just again, be really careful because we are using matches and we want to make sure everyone's being safe. But have a great day and enjoy the rest of your summer reading program.